Welcome to the Totally Awesome Fishing Show. I'm here in the Totally Awesome office, untangling all this lot from the previous sessions, beach fishing. That's what I do. I fish right till the last minute, and when you've got to get to work next day, I can't exactly get up in the morning at 7 o'clock or something and start cleaning all my rigs down. So I just cut them all off when I finish fishing, throw them in a bucket like this, and sort them out at my leisure. But I tell you what, I've learned quite a bit about using a certain size bait on a certain size length of snood for beach fishing and on a certain rod. It's called my shotgun rod. It's the one, no doubt, some of you who follow our beach programs have seen that I've rigged up a rod holder on the middle of my rod tripod. Okay, so you've got your two rods up like this, and I've been fishing big baits, big baits, big baits. But just as an experiment, I've been getting a spinning rod, quite a stiff spinning rod I have to say, firing a bait out 40 yards, 50 yards, something like that, sometimes 30 yards, with small hooks, and I've now dropped down, wait for this, a size 4 freshwater hook, and I have been catching quite a lot of fish, by far out fishing the big rods for numbers of fish. And it suddenly occurred to me that a lot of guys out there, do you know what, beach fishing, they're not really bothered about the size of the fish. They're not specimen hunters, they're not after the 10, 12, 14 pound cod off the shore. Yes, we all want them, including me. But most of the time, you don't get the hours you can put in that you can catch a fish like that. You've got to get lucky. A lot of us out there on the beach just want to catch something, anything. Well, I think I've come up with a rig that might just work. It's nothing new, but it seems to be producing for me. And this is how I'm going to try and make it up. I'm going to sort this lot out first though, get all the hooks, beads, swivels, nuts and bolts that I need to make it. Okay, now it's not rocket science, but it has caught me, honestly the majority of my fish. Right, glasses on. It's dead simple. It's a straight paternoster. So, this is just a standard lead at the bottom. It's got a regular lead clip there. I'm going to make one that's got a little bait holder on the edge of it. I'll show you that in close-up. This, wait for this, and this is daylight as well as night fishing, guys. 50 pound Andy Yellow it's called. You probably can't even get it now. I can't tell you how old this is. You can see it hopefully there. It's bright yellow, okay? Look, there's a hook there, and ouch, they're extremely sharp. That's another thing I'll come to. And a hook here. Right? So, you come from your shock leader, up through your rod rings. I tie to the swivel at the top. And my rig is, wow, at least 6 feet long. At least 6 feet long. Now these, the reason I'm using this is totally self-apparent to me there. If you can see the vertical line there, and look at the dropper, the snood, the loop, the link, call it what you want, just here. It's hanging off perfectly untangleable. Now I used to use a lot of light line, thinking, oh, I use 10 or 12 pound line, the fish can't see it. Listen, they're sea fish, they're crunching up crabs for God's sake. Do you think they're going to be bothered by the tagging or not? I think not. I think the answer to that is no. But listen, this is the one that's been used. But look, I've caught loads on this and it's still, look guys, it don't tangle, but it's a very, very short snood. Well, it does tangle, it catches one of these tote rigs I've been making up. There, like this, you can see. Now this is a blood loop that I've cut. So I've made this out of one piece of line, made 3 blood loops, but I reckon that is, it's not 6 inches, it's about 5 inches I reckon that is, to my hook here, which is the only down thing I've got with this is using such a small hook there, it's a small line to get this 50 through, so you might have to snip an angle on it, on the line, to be able to get it through to tie a blood loop. There might be a different way, and I think I might at least go with a slightly bigger hook, but I'm telling you, these hooks are probably those chemically sharp ones. They're really, really sharp. And I think what happens is, I'm casting out, it doesn't tangle, the fish comes up here, he takes the bait, he can be tugging and nipping at it, and with a big hook, he's missing it, right? A small hook, it just nicks a piece of skin, because I've noticed when I get the bite, it stays a bite. They really, rarely leave it. Now on my big baits, I get the odd bite, nothing happens. They chew a piece of meat off, fish off, wherever the bait is, and they go away. So I'll show you how to make these blood loops, but I'm not going to be using 3, I'm going to be using 2 exactly the same as this. This is how I do it. Right then, I know I'm using this yellow. I mean, line is line is line. I'm not really a lover of fluorocarbon, especially at night. What's the point? Fish at night, can they see the line? No. But I tell you what I do like fluorocarbon for, is I find it quite stiff. And I feel if I can tie that blood dropper into this line, instead of my yellow, and I'm going to up the hook just a little bit to a size 2 here, size 2 hook, regular swivel, and obviously those link swivels on my lead, I think I'll be okay, because what I've been doing a lot of combo bait fishing, and that's, I'll tell you where I got the idea from. We did a film, I might be able to put a link up, Mike, put the link up there please, just there, on Courtney Creech. We did Courtney Creech fishing for smooth hounds and that down North Somerset. Courtney was, I can't tell you how many double figure smooth hounds he was catching at the time, one after the other, distance casting. But all the time he was watching the rod, he was whipping, binding, doing another crab, snipping legs off, making a very small bait. Now I would say the success I've had has been on a bait the size of, I'll tell you what, the size of almost my little finger. But rather than just being that length, it was about that fatness. Now it could be a worm folded over, it could be a sand eel folded over, it could be a combo bait of sand eel cut in half and a worm cut in half, but bound together with elastic thread, the bait thread. And for that reason, and the reason is I'm not casting a long way, so I don't need to clip my baits down, and the baits won't burst apart because they're bound on with elastic thread. So I haven't got the worry that they won't come unclipped on impact, okay? That makes sense to you. So it's just a straight 2-hook paternoster using a blood loop, but the bait has got to be the size of my little finger, because there's a lot of fish that can take a bait that size. Now then, there's an old saying, elephants eat peanuts. No, I'm not fishing for elephants, but what I can tell you is you can catch a big fish on a small hook, but you can't catch a small fish on a big hook. So, I've done very well with these small hooks. For all you guys out there, beginners and that, I think it might be worth a shot. You could turn the corner and wind 1 or 2 fish in. Let's tie the rig up. Alright, problem number 1, guys. I realise you're probably not going to see this fluorocarbon, and this one is, let's have a go. Change of glasses, change of binoculars. This one is Nomura Invisible Fluoro, £54 that is. But I don't think you'll see it tie the knot. So here is my jumbo spool of Andyline, which I'm pretty sure you're going to see that being yellow. So here we go. I'm going to get myself one of these, if you can see them, leg clips. They've got the little tag end bent back there to rest your hook in. So when you're casting, I'll show you like that, your hook and bait rest in there for casting out. But although I'm putting this on, I'm not going to be using it. I could just use an ordinary leg clip. I've got this one purely because it's in front of me. So I'm going to tie that one on, dead easy. Pull that knot down like that. Snip the tag end off, easy peasy. That's where, let's take it off of there and then you can see it. It also, it's a bit difficult doing it for filming, but if I take the lead off of that one. So there's my clip, like this. And you just put, wouldn't be this lead, it'd be a grip lead obviously. My lead's on there. Now, this is what I think is sort of important. About, let's come back about 6 or 8 inches. I pinch a line there, and I'm going to get a big roll of line, roll it over on itself, and then I'm going to take the outside, look in our knots for this one, blood loops, dropper loops, blood loops, about 4 times. 1, 2, fiddly, 3, till you get used to doing them, you can do them. Then I put the main loop here, it's hard to do, back through that hole, hopefully you can see this, there, can you see that? Bit of spit, off camera so it won't offend anybody. Now this is going to be a short one because I would normally use my teeth to do this, but I'm going to pull it down because I figure you're going to see it pull tight. Oh, beautiful, that's why we do the spit, because you don't get friction burns. And that knot just locks up tight. Okay, it's what they use for mackerel feathers a lot of the time. But then you'll see that one will be slightly larger, slightly higher than the other. You see, which will be up. And I'm going to snip the top end of that to make the top of my snood, just like this. Okay. I'm not distance casting with this. I'm lobbing it 50 yards. Now look immediately how that is hanging off vertically at 90 degrees there, look, straight off vertically like that. You see that. Now, you could have a long one, but the longer you have it, the more it's going to chance of it tangle. I've been fishing with these short ones and I've been doing very well. That's all I can tell you. The hook size I'm going to be using is a B983. I put my fingers over it. It's a wide gate specialist size 4. There you can see that one, wide gate specialist size 4. It's freshwater one. Probably even barbers, I think, very slight. I'm trying to tell you what they say there. No, I couldn't read it anyway with my glasses. But what I'm going to do, because I want to bait, don't forget about the length of my finger, and that's too small, I feel. These are a size 2, just a regular size 2 hook, which most guys will be familiar with. There. That's a size 2 hook, if you can see it. Fairly strong of the wire, in case you do get a big fish, don't forget. And I'm going to tie this on about, maybe no more than, there, what's that, 4 inches? There. Oh, that's nice and tight. You can see the tag in there. I'm going to snip that off quite close. Now the reason I'm using a longer shank hook there than these freshwater ones is because with this freshwater one I've had to, how can I show you? There's a difference in hook size. There. The reason is I've had to get a bait the length of my finger and whip it up to the line rather than the shank of the hook, and I feel with a size 2 longer I've got much stronger to whip to there, and then I can come to about there. I want to bait about that long. There, about the knuckle, just over the knuckle of your finger, obviously depending how big your hands are. Now look, if I let this go now, and I pull the line tight, you're going to see that hangs off there pretty well like that. And I'm going to put a second one further up, but here, let me show you, take that camera back. I could be sitting at home watching telly, couldn't I? It's too boring. I've done too well with these small fish. I don't watch telly. There's nothing on telly. I watch YouTube. Okay, there it is. It was 6 feet before, so that goes about there. This one, the second dropper loop, at least 2 feet from the other. Going to roll it over like this, like I showed you. Go through, or round the main line, one round the main line, about 4 times. I'm sure 4.5 won't make any difference. Now what I do to make that a bit longer, I pull the loop through, and that's why God gave fishermen's teeth. I can hold this loop, start pulling it tight, just before it cinches up, bit of spit, bosh, job done. Get the top one, it looks like that one there. Come on, just me snip the wrong one now. wouldn't that be funny? Not. Okay, that one can then have a second hook on it. Look, you could use, I don't see any reason why you couldn't use 2 of these hooks if you wanted to. But the reason you use a pennel hook, some people say it's to catch the extra fish, you know, you got a chance of catching a second hook. Most of the time, the second hook is to hold the bait out straight. I don't think you need it. You're not using a great big bait like 5 inches long. You're using something the length of your finger, but you're basically bulking it out 2 or 3 times the size of a worm. You're making a short, dumpy bait, and that's where I got the idea from that Courtney Creech. He was catching double figure smoothhound on almost a little cube of crab. Watch and learn from the experts is what I say. Never too old to learn something new. And I've seen other guys also off the beaches start to use those what I call dumpy baits. Right, there we go. That one, as you can see, is standing off as well. I'm going to put the swivel about no more than 4 inches at the top, because that's where my shock leader is going to go. And obviously you're geared, you might have a 60-pound shock leader. Don't worry about it, guys, because you've got 50 here with knots tied. Let's say it goes down to 45 or whatever, because the flood loop drops the knot strength like all knots do. But I'm just lobbing it out. I'm not doing pendulum casting, all fancy long distance stuff. I'm just lobbing it out about 50, 60 yards, and I feel 50, whatever this line is I'm going to be using, 54, nearly 55-pound line is fine. Of course, you can make rigs with no knots at all, when it makes me laugh when you see those rigs with all the sliding booms and God knows what else on it. They say, yeah, but it won't get weakened by the knot. Yes, it will, mate, because there's a knot where the lead goes, and there's a knot where you tie it to the top of your, your line. So there's always one knot. So all I've got is 3 or 4 knots, and the blood dropper's there. So there we go. Lead, 12-15 inches, a 3 to 4 inch, let's call that 4 inch short stiff standoff snood, same again, but about 2 feet down, and then my swivel just there, obviously grip lead. Now the other thing I'm going to do for a bit of long distance casting, I will make one up with clip down, so if I want to send a bait a long way I can do, but all I'm telling you, a lot of fish I've been catching has been on this rig, admittedly with 3 hooks on, but I've been working different spacings out, and this one's been very, very productive for me. You can put the snood right down here by the lead if you want, so it's pinned right, anchored on the seabed in a fast tide, and I think the fish come up, tug at it, and because the bait's small enough, the size of your little finger, get it in their mouth, they turn, bang, they just nick with these sharp hooks. That's why matchmen use small, sharp hooks, and I think that's why my catch rate on small fish has been pretty good. If I could get a big fish rig, man, would I make some money? Let's show you the other one. Okay, so here is the alternative. Same length, but using all the rig buying stuff. And if you want to actually clip your baits down to allow you to, you might want to cast further, or you might just feel the baits are going to get blasted off during the cast. Ouch, are these hooks sharp? So I'll show you this one. Now this is the same 2 hooks. There's the lead. I'm just going to span that out. There's the swivel, so 5-6 feet long. There's the lead. The hook's right here. I think you see that hook there. And they've got sort of, well, there's no loops there. If you're worried about those extra blood loops I've tied, you can crimp either side of a swivel. I'll show you in close-up. And then put what they call a relay clip here. So your hook rests in there. And as you impact with the top of the sea, when you cast, your lead hits the water, bang, it comes off the clip. Look, it's free swinging. And the same at the bottom. I mean, I've got it tensioned at the moment. But as soon as that goes bang, hits the seabed, there it is. There you go. But something, I mean, look, I've used this stuff before on, say, 3 hook flapper rigs, anything like that. They use these, a lot of match fishing, because these swivels go round and round and round, look like this. They spin round and round and round, less tangly. But they don't, let's tangle off. There's no weight on this. Look, they don't stand away from the main line like my blood loop does. And I just feel that's what's helping me catch fish. But there you go, there's 2 different rigs. I'll just show you briefly how, in close-up, these little swivels and the crimps you can use if you are worried about tying those knots. I'm not, I'm using it all the time. Look, I've used it 40 odd years, not for long distance, not for pendulum casting, just for throwing out. It's £50 mono, tie it in £100 mono if you want, if you're worried about anything like that. I'm just telling you what I use, and I'm going to tie this in the fluorocarbon. That's the rigs I'm going to be using now, but I've tied it in the yellow just so you can see it. I'll show you what these swivels and the little gizmos look like in close-up. So there you've got, look, here's the lead. There is, I'll try and turn the lead on its side, you might be able to see, that's the lead clip with the little bait holder hook attachment there. That should show you there how the hook, I'll move it around the camera so you can see the bend is just holding the bend of the hook, and then when it impacts with the water, it comes off. Okay, so there you can see the crimp either side of that swivel with a bit of tube in the middle, so it will revolve round and round the line. I'll come back here and that's it crimped onto the line. A crimp either side, and it holds. If I come back just a tad, there you can see the job completed, and of course then my hook comes down here to the snood. So that's a way of doing it without knots if you're worried about knots, but of course crimping that on as well might weaken the line, so don't over tighten it, just enough to stop it sliding. So here are the relay clips. You just simply snap off, and then that's a clip, and that base, just if I can just show you here, that piece of valve rubber pinches up over the top like that with a line in the middle, so that cinches it on the line, and right in the end here, if I turn it over, there is just there, you can see a little hole in the end where you can put your line straight through.
So when it's actually on the line, it looks like that. And again, your hook goes in that bend. And the bend of the hook rests in that little fork there. And when it impacts with the water, it just pops out and falls free and falls clear. Then at the top end of your rig, you have a barrel swivel. Obviously from here, your shock lead or fishing line comes to the rod top. You tie the rig on, but hang on guys, make it easier. There's another clip you can use. And that's this clip, which, as you'll notice if I come across, it doesn't have that curve. Here's the lead. You can see that's got, this one's got the bait holding curve in the wire there. This one doesn't. That's a plain one.
Well, there you go, plenty of terminal gear there to get you going, making up some rigs. Try those 2 hook rigs. I'm sure you'll have as much success as I've had and you'll enjoy tying them up.